Hekchamanayaka remembered the past upon hearing this. When Qasim was released by his commander, he escaped the battlefield on his horse. After some time, Ulugh Khan's army and the Hoysala army clashed fiercely in battle. This intense fighting continued for 3 months. The Ulugh Khan army, having lost many men, eventually retreated from the battle. The Hoysala army, with minimal losses, returned to the city of Hampi. The king made grand arrangements to welcome the victorious soldiers. While the soldiers celebrated their victory with pride, Ulugh Khan's soldiers, having lost everything in the field, returned to Orugallu in disgrace and stood before Ulugh Khan. Seeing them, Qasim smiled and said, "I told you earlier. He is no ordinary man. As long as he is alive, we cannot win this war. I was unable to do anything when he was just a common soldier. Even Malik Kafur took 2 days to recover from his blow. Now he has become a commander of that empire. We cannot achieve anything against him or the Hoysala kingdom through war." Upon hearing this, Ulugh Khan, angry, stood up from his seat and clenched his fist, saying, "Then how can I conquer that empire?" At that moment, a political advisor next to him said, "We might not be able to defeat them through war, but we can win through politics." That Hekchamanayaka once told Qasim that unity is the strength of the empire. If we can disrupt that unity, divide them into factions, and turn one faction to our side, we can easily conquer the kingdom. How can that be achieved? Qasim expressed his doubts. The political advisor replied, "We can select some young men from our army and instill fanaticism in them. Prepare them to do anything for our religion without hesitation. Send them into the Hoysala kingdom to create religious discord. By causing these conflicts, we can turn the Thoruskas within that kingdom to our side. Then we can launch a campaign against the kingdom, and those within the kingdom will assist us, making our victory easy." Ulugh Khan, impressed by this plan, instructed the officials present to make the necessary arrangements. Thus, Ulugh Khan provided rigorous training for 4 months to create fanatics. When they were considering how to enter the Hoysala kingdom, a person related to the Hoysala kingdom, disguised, came forward and offered to help. "Hush, hush, hush!" When Ulugh Khan asked, "Why are you helping us?" the masked man replied, "I will need your help in the future." Pleased with this answer, Ulugh Khan shook hands with him. The fanatics were now settled in the Hoysala kingdom and were ready to create discord within the kingdom. On the day of the fair in Hampi, the people were busy purchasing the goods they needed. At the same time, 4 fanatics arrived there, brandishing knives and attacking anyone they encountered, shouting, "Let the kingdom prosper under Allah." Some soldiers stationed there became alert and tried to control the fanatics, but the fanatics killed those soldiers as well. Realizing this, Qasim rushed to the fair, engaged the fanatics in battle, killed 3 of them, and managed with great difficulty to capture one alive, tying his hands behind his back and taking him into custody. The people, who had fled in fear, returned to search for their injured and to assist the wounded. A short while later, Hekchamanayaka arrived at the fair. Seeing the destruction, tears welled up in his eyes. His gaze then fell upon the fanatic whom Qasim had captured. Unable to control his anger, he rushed towards the fanatic and struck him forcefully on the chest. The blow sent the fanatic flying backward. Hekchamanayaka lifted the fallen fanatic and, raining blows on him, demanded, "Why did you do this? Who are you?" Qasim intervened, holding Hector firmly and said, "Friend, we have already beaten him enough. If we keep hitting him, despite the severe injuries and bleeding all over, the fanatic, with a twisted smile, said, this is just the beginning. Many more of us will come. We will kill the infidels until Allah's rule is established in this kingdom. This entire kingdom must become an Islamic state. All infidels must be destroyed. Everyone must follow Islam. For this, we need the help of Turuska officials like you. Join us and let's expand Allah's kingdom." Hector, who had remained silent until then, drew his sword and said, "One should achieve one's goals through love, not through violence. I will not allow your games in this kingdom while I am here. Anyone who threatens the peace and security of this kingdom, regardless of who they are, will be killed." Even then, the fanatic, without fear, advanced toward. Seeing this, Hector was astonished. The fanatic added, "We are ready to give our lives for the establishment of Allah's kingdom. If anyone tries to prevent this, we will not hesitate to kill them, even if they are you." With these heavy words, the fanatic fell to the ground. Qasim then asked the dead fanatic, "Tell me, who is behind you?" and slapped the corpse's face. Hector placed his hand on Khadir's shoulder and said, "He is dead. Let it go." After stopping the beating, Hector stood up and asked, "Who are these people, and why have they become like this?" Hector replied to Khadir, "We need to find out what is happening in our kingdom without our knowledge." Hector then held an emergency meeting with all the officials responsible for managing Hampi city. He instructed them, "Arrest anyone who appears suspicious in the city and interrogate them. Increase security to prevent unrest in the city. Find out where these fanatics came from and whether they are related to our kingdom. Also, investigate if anyone from our city has assisted them. Inform me of any evidence you find about them. I need these details in 4 days." Upon receiving a summons from the king, Hector went to the royal palace to meet him. Seeing Hector, the king anxiously asked, "What exactly happened at the fair?" Hector responded, "It seems that some fanatics carried out these attacks to create unrest in our kingdom. If my guess is correct, they must be associated with Ulugh Khan. The injured have been taken to the medical facility for treatment and will recover soon. However, along with 4 soldiers, 15 common people also died," he said with a mournful expression. The king then instructed, "Conduct the final rites for the deceased with royal honors. Provide treatment for the injured using our funds. I will participate in the final rites of the deceased. Make arrangements for that as well." Following the king's orders, Hector set out to make the necessary arrangements. A person arrived at a secret hideout where the remaining fanatics were staying and said, "The security arrangements in the city have increased. Anyone who appears suspicious is being detained without questioning. Therefore, for a few days, you will not be able to go outside, as instructed by our officer." One of the fanatics agreed to this message. In the evening of that day, arrangements were made for the final rites of the deceased. As some of the deceased were Turuska traders, Hector personally carried their bear a certain distance. Arrangements were made to perform the final rites according to their religious customs. Many city residents, along with the king, gathered in large numbers to express their condolences. As the king prepared to address the crowd from a platform, the people stood in silence, eagerly awaiting his words. The king began his speech in a sorrowful tone. First, I must apologize to all of you. I could not prevent this tragic incident. This was a conspiracy by our enemies to indirectly attack us, create discord in our kingdom, and disrupt our unity. I hope you all understand this and refrain from discord among yourselves, maintaining religious tolerance in our kingdom. I have also instructed our military leaders to take extra precautions to prevent such atrocities in the future. One more thing to remember, the perpetrators of this atrocity were from the Turuska community, so do not attack them. Those who kill fellow humans to advance their religion are fanatics, not true representatives of any religion. Therefore, I hope you, as the people of this kingdom, will exercise restraint and protect the peace and security of our kingdom. With that, he stepped down from the platform. A woman came forward to speak with the king. The king paused for a moment, eager to hear what she had to say. The woman began, King, while I was at the fair buying goods with my 3-year-old son, the fanatics attacked. Before we could understand what was happening, one of them came at me with a knife, trying to kill me. However, an elderly Turuska trader intervened, not only blocking the knife meant for us but also holding on to the fanatic despite the severe injuries he sustained. He told me to escape, saying that Allah would not forgive him if he let women and children be killed. I ran away from there, and even as the fanatic kept attacking, the trader never let go. If it weren't for this Turuska saving us, we would not have survived. That is why I have come here with my family to pay my respects to the Turuska who sacrificed